Hey everybody, and welcome to Blue Book. This is the College Board's digital testing platform used initially for the digital AP exams, but now adapted for the digital SAT. Students can download this app right now from College Board's website. Now, they'll have to do that in advance of their test if they're using their own device, but we actually encourage them to download it well in advance because it allows them to use this test preview function and familiarize themselves with the layout of the test and the digital tools. And it also gives them access to 4 officially released practice tests, so they can have that test day experience before they go and sit their official test. What we're going to look at here is some of the tools available to us, to all students, and of particular interest perhaps to students with learning differences built into this application. So to start with, we have a timer up at the top of the screen. This is going to count down as each section progresses. It'll allow you to see how much time you have left before the section ends. For those of us who might find this a little anxiety-inducing, we can hide this here and then of course reveal it again whenever we like. To manage our visual display, so we're not overwhelmed by all the information on the screen, we have a couple options. We can use their default resizing. And as you can see, we just use these buttons here to do that. Or we can custom arrange the size of our screen and how much the question prompt or the question text take up. Now, depending on the device you have, this next bit will be a little variable, but for me on a Mac, I can use the built-in magnification to zoom into the text, make it larger, or zoom back out to make it smaller. Different devices do this differently, but regardless of the device, this functionality will be available to you to use on test day. Another way to manage your visual field and the amount of information you're taking in is to use the strikeout feature here. This will cut down on answer choices, so only the ones you want to really consider will remain present and visible. You can also use the annotation tool to figure out which bits of this text here are really the important ones. You highlight the text, go up to annotate. It doesn't always work, which is hopefully something they'll fix soon, but when it does, you end up with highlighted text, and you can even put in a note for later. To see this note, just hover over the highlighted section. When we're moving through the test, we may want to jump ahead a few questions, maybe move to a question we feel more comfortable answering than the one that appears sequentially. We can do that very easily, just moving back and forth here, but we can also do that using the navigation feature at the bottom of the page. And here you can see I've answered questions 1, 2, and 4. I have not answered questions 3, 5, and then 5 through 8. And I haven't flagged any for review. But why don't we do that now? So now this navigation bar shows the questions I've answered, have not answered, and have flagged for review, making it really easy for me to keep track of how far or how many questions I've completed in the section. And then when I go to the end of the section, I'm going to get this page again. So now this is a second check to make sure that before I hit next and submit my answers for this section, I know exactly what I've completed and what I haven't. The math section of this test is really quite similar, but does have a couple unique tools. There's a reference guide here with some formulas, facts. This was always true on the paper SAT as well, but they've continued this trend. And then we have this digital calculator, which I think is actually quite interesting, built right into the platform. And savvy use of this calculator could be a real asset on this test. We can use it to solve pretty basic equations. Let's say, 46 squared, or 46 times 8. But we can also use it to graph questions and solve things like this question right here. How many solutions does this have? Well, it doesn't cross the x-axis, so it has 0. Real solutions, at least. Otherwise, all the navigation is the same. And I hope this was a helpful review of the testing platform.